Hey, listen, do you help local businesses with their YouTube channel? Are you a local business yourself looking to leverage YouTube for your business? Perhaps you're a realtor, someone in construction or trades, restaurants, medical services, printing companies, and other local businesses in your specific local area. If so, this is the session for you. In this session, we're going to be talking with Karin Carr. So we're going to be talking about how you make videos interesting, how to stay consistent on YouTube, how to scale your channel and your business once it starts growing and taking off, how to target local keywords for your local business channel on YouTube, and how to reach local customers using YouTube. So really excited for this session, everyone. So hopefully you hang tight, grab a coffee. I've got my coffee here, and sit tight. Also, make sure to say hello in the comments and drop your questions in the comments. We're going to be doing Q&A. This is a conversation with everyone, including you that's tuning in. But before we bring Karin on, I want to mention TubeBuddy 101. For anyone that's just starting out with using TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy 101 is a weekly live training session, as well as Q&A with me and Andrew Can every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So this is happening tomorrow morning. So go to tubebuddy.com/101 to find the links to join us tomorrow live. You can also watch the replay in case the time doesn't work out, but make sure you tune in for that, and we'll see you there. So I'm going to bring our guest on here 2 seconds. All right. Hey, hey, Karin, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great. Really excited to have you here. So for everyone that's just tuning in, this is the first time you're coming across Karin. Karin, I actually met Karin through the 24-hour corn stream that we did a couple weeks ago. She's a really good friend with Owen Hemsat, Owen Video. So connected with her, loved her channel, loved her content, what she's doing. So Karin is a realtor and a real estate coach. She teaches real estate agents how to dominate their local markets using video and specifically YouTube. She's named the #1 real estate video influencer by BombBomb in 2019 in the customer education category, speaks all over the country. Once the lockdown is over, she'll be back on that again on video marketing. So Karin also is an Amazon best-selling author with her book, the YouTube for Real Estate Agents book. So really excited. Karin, how are you? What time is it over there where you're at?
It's 11 Eastern, so okay. I've been up for a few hours, had multiple cups of coffee. I'm good.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, excited to be here with you, really diving into the business that you built around YouTube, specifically for local businesses and your local business, which is in the real estate space. So before we jump into questions, why don't you say hello to everyone out there and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Karin Carr. I've been a real estate agent since 2005, but I've moved a lot. And so any of you that are, if you have a service-based business or a hyper-local business, you know that if you pick up and move to a new city, you're starting over again. And so we went from Northern California to Hilton Head, South Carolina, to Atlanta, Georgia, and now Savannah, Georgia. And so all of that in 15 years, you know, it's hard to keep starting over again. And so when I got to Georgia, I started making videos, but with no schedule, no rhyme or reason, no consistency. And it started to work. I started getting business from it. So then when we moved again and we got to Savannah, I said, I'm going to make one video a week. That's it, just one a week. And I'm going to put it on YouTube and I'm going to see what happens. Within a year, I had to hire a team. So I went from being brand new in my market where nobody knew me to having so many leads coming in that I couldn't handle them all myself and had to staff up. So what happened to my business has been nothing short of a miracle. And it's all 100% because of YouTube.
Nice. I love that. So again, I want to say hello to everyone that's joining in live. We got Jill, we got Beanie Draws, we got Warren, we got Malu, Kate, Tanya. Awesome to have everyone here tuning in live. So again, please drop your questions in the comments. If you have someone in your circles that is a local business or helping local businesses, especially around leveraging YouTube for their local business, share this live with them, share this piece of content with them. We really hope to deliver and answer any questions as well to help you, amplify your message and reach more local customers as well. So Karin, first thing I want to ask you, and this is a common question comes up in our community, is that I noticed that you have 2 channels. So this one here, which is Georgia Coast Homes, and then you have your other channel here, which is YouTube for Agents with Karin Carr. So tell us what sort of led you to splitting up your channel or coming up with two different channels, when you had to do that?
Well, I'm a big believer in you need to have one specific audience that you're trying to reach with your YouTube channel. And at the beginning, I was just looking for people that wanted to buy or sell a house in the Savannah, Georgia market. That's it. So all of my videos were about living in Savannah, moving there, what's it like there, neighborhood tours, how I can help you as a real estate agent if you want to buy or sell a house. But then the more attention I started getting from other real estate agents, I started making videos telling them how they could do this too. Why YouTube is an amazing strategy, not just for branding and top of mind awareness, but for lead generation. And I was occasionally making videos speaking to real estate agents that I was putting on this channel. And one of my good friends was like, you need to have a different channel. You can't be speaking to somebody that wants to buy or sell a house and a real estate agent on the same channel. And so finally, she kicked me in the rear end and said, you need to do it. And after much kicking and screaming, I finally created the new channel because I thought I don't want to have to create double the work for myself. But they're two completely different audiences. And so if you want to, it's kind of like an analogy of you've got two different dogs and they're loose and they're running in different directions. How can you chase them both at the same time? You really can't. You need to pick one, and that is who you're chasing. And so two different channels because two completely different audiences.
That makes a lot of sense. And so we have, like I said, we have a lot of, creators out there, especially on YouTube, just because we have so much, we're passionate about 3 or 4 different things. And it's like, you're trying to smash it into one channel. And like you said there, the audience, right? So if they didn't subscribe to this particular content, they came here because of real estate. And then now all of a sudden you're talking about something else. You're talking about baking or something, or, vlogging or traveling, then it might be confused, right? And so they're not going to be as engaged. Awesome. So I'm starting to get some questions. And so if you guys don't mind, because we are live streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter as well, if you could use hashtag Karin, Karin, when you're asking questions, that way I can pick it out and kind of see all of from the streams of comments here. Awesome. So Karin, let's dive into local businesses using YouTube. Obviously, you are an awesome case study of that. You're killing it on YouTube. You're growing both channels. Both businesses are going really well. And so tell us about, how a local business would use YouTube differently from, say, somebody that's maybe selling, like digital products where their market is the whole world and the whole internet. Whereas a local business needs to be really specific to their city, the local area.
Right. And that's a really good point, because somebody that's able to sell something online to anybody in the whole world, they have so many options when it comes to SEO and keyword research. But if you're a hyper local business where you only sell your product or service in a small geographic area, then we have to be more strategic about the keywords that we're using, because when somebody does a search, either in Google or in YouTube, we want our videos to show up at the top of the search results. So a lot of mine are very specific to the area that I service. So it might be, are you moving to Savannah? Are you wondering about the cost of living in Savannah? Do you want to find out how to hire a real estate agent to help sell your house in Savannah? So we're using the area that we service, and sometimes it's the suburbs. It could be Pooler or Richmond Hill or Wilmington Island, but they're all in the greater Savannah area. And so we're using a lot of those keywords in the title, in the description, in the tags, because we are trying to, if you live in Iowa and you want to buy a house, that's awesome, but I can't help you. So I want the person that is looking to do a transaction in the area where I actually service.
So you're using your city as sort of like within the first 2 or 3, 4 words of your titles. Is that a pretty standard approach now with you, with your local approach?
We don't always have it in the first couple of words, but yes, it's usually in the title there somewhere. So for example, one of the very first videos I ever did that really hit and started getting thousands of views was called Moving to Savannah, Why It's a Great Place to Live. And the keyword I looked up was moving to Savannah. Now, when I do the keyword research for that, it only gets a couple hundred searches a month. It's not a lot. It's not getting 100,000 searches a month. but that's a couple hundred people that are raising their hand and saying, I am planning on moving to your area and I'm going to need a place to live and I might be interested in buying a home and I'm going to need an agent to help me when I get there. So their intent is very, very high. They're not Googling that if they're not thinking about moving to Savannah, right? So I'm not using a very, very broad topics. I'm looking for the low-hanging fruit. I am looking for the people that are saying, I need a real estate agent's help and hopefully in the near future.
I love that. I love that. So also, I think what I caught there is that you don't need that many. You don't need that many searches. You don't need that many views because, especially for real estate, it's a high ticket transaction, right? So if you can target, 200-300 views, then if you get a certain amount of leads from that, and again, we were talking about this because a lot of real estate agents specifically sort of shy away from YouTube. And, they sort of shy away from YouTube and they once they get the courage and sort of that, that like, okay, I'm going to do videos, they kind of choose other platforms. And so what's your advice for that? Because I think it's not only real estate agents. I mean, all business owners, I mean, all people, we want to show up well and we feel like YouTube is sort of the pinnacle of videos. And so we sort of shy away from it. We tend to choose Facebook or Instagram Live or some other platforms. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I love video on any platform, but think about it. If you are on Facebook and you're just killing time, you're bored, you haven't seen another human being in a month and a half, and you're just dying for some human interaction, are you looking for real estate information? No, you were out there trying to connect with your friends, see what's going on, see pictures, have a good laugh, have someone to commiserate with. But if you're looking for information on buying or selling a house, you're not going to Facebook for that. You're going to Google, and Google owns YouTube. So if you're going to make a video with the goal of getting business from it, make videos about real estate topics, but don't put them on social media because that's not where people are looking for it. Put them on YouTube, which is a search engine. I always say that YouTube really is not social media. It is a search engine. So if you put it where the people are looking for it, it's going to show up. But one of the big mistakes I see on YouTube is they think it's all about the house, and it's not. It's about you as the agent. Let people get to know you, because if you do a virtual tour of your listing and they don't like that house, they're not going to say, I didn't really like the kitchen. It was too small, but oh my gosh, that agent who was not even in the video is amazing. We need to call them and hire them.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to be in the video so they get to know you and they get to like your personality. And they say, well, okay, so this video was not about a house. Maybe it was, what are the best paint colors for my front door that will help it sell faster? Or how do I buy a house using a VA loan? You're answering the question that they came there. They went to Google and they typed in this question. Your video showed up. They watch it. They get to know you. If they like you, then they're going to reach out to you when the time comes. It wasn't about the house. It was about you giving them information that they were hoping to learn.
I love that. I love that. And that was really going to be my next question. I think you kind of started answering it here, is that looking at, and first I want to say hello to Warren. Warren says,
hi, Warren.
Hey, Warren says, Karin's YouTube course and YouTube channel are awesome. Spend tons of money on other YouTube courses. Nobody comes close to what Karin has to offer, especially for realtors. She tells it like it is and walks her talk. Absolutely. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I definitely see that. I see Dan Courier here, awesome creator from the East Coast. He's running people a video very soon. Hey, Dan. We see Paul, we see Missy, and also Beanie Draws and other people here. So awesome. So keep the questions coming. We're going to be doing Q&A very shortly, but I just want to pick Karin's brain here. So Karin, going on content, because your real estate channel, for example, your Georgia Coast Homes, and I was checking this out. And again, this is, you think real estate channel going to be talking about, the 5 things you need to think about before you buy your first home, or, closing costs, tutorials and things like that. But you talk about stuff like that. You talk about real estate things, but you're also talking about homeschooling for newbies, screen time activities. You're talking about staying healthy and safe. You're talking about things outside of real estate. So my question, I guess, is, and more is like, Are you focused on, yes, you're focused on keywords. Obviously, you need to understand the game and how you're doing this on YouTube. So you need to understand keywords and stuff. But are you also really trying to understand your audience and what they care for? And I'm curious to hear what you think, like describe your audience to us, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
When I first started the channel, my audience, I wanted to be speaking to military that was relocating into the Savannah area. My husband is retired Air Force. We are an Air Force family. We shop at the commissary, all the things. So that's what I wanted my niche and my specialty to be. And every time I would make a video, it was specifically talking to that person, somebody in the military. They've gotten orders to come to Savannah. They've never been here before. They don't know anything about it. They need help. And it started working like gangbusters. Eventually, other people started finding these videos that were moving to Savannah, but they were not necessarily in the military. Maybe they lived up north and they just said, I don't ever want to shovel my driveway again. We are moving down south. We want to live where it's inexpensive, it's affordable. Well, we can live by the beach, but it's not going to cost $1 million. And we just started getting more people that were relocating into the area. So we broadened our niche a bit, but it's still very specific to people that are relocating into the area and don't know much about it. As we started closing lots and lots of transactions and getting to know our clients, we were finding even more out about them. And so now that it's a team of us, so Dawn kind of has her area of expertise and Nicole has her area of expertise. She's a young mom with small kids. So she makes lots of videos about things to do with kids and where can you take your kids and fun activities to do in Savannah when you have small kids. Dawn loves the water and the beach, and she loves to talk about Tybee Island and things that are happening at Tybee Island and whatnot. So we've all kind of got our own little area of expertise. And we have branched out. So we are not so specific that we're only talking about relocating to Savannah as a whole, but we still do. I mean, I would say that probably 70% of our content is for people that are relocating to the area and just don't know a lot about it.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to get it's still early. I'm still trying to get my screens all set up, but no, that's a really good answer. And I like how you've involved your team. So if you guys look at this channel here, I'm going to share my screen again. So these are your two, I guess they work with you, right? So that's awesome. So you involve them in your channel. So again, it is like your channel, but you're not the star of your channel. Again, I think behind the scenes, this helps you scale and create more content.
It absolutely does. I mean, it really takes some of the load off of your shoulders when you're not doing 100% of the work yourself. And then you can have somebody make your thumbnails and you can have somebody else do all of your editing, and you can start to really outsource a lot of these tasks so that you are responsible for making the video, recording the video. And then that's pretty much it. After that, it's kind of goes out to the next person that has to do their task. And by having other people making videos, we still just do one video a week, but now I only have to do one video every 3 weeks because we're rotating. And it's pretty awesome. Plus, then when Dawn and Nicole get these leads and they call them and say, hey, Joe, thanks for coming to my website and downloading my whatever free thing it was we were offering. Are you thinking about moving to Savannah? They're like, oh, I just watched your video. And so now they're getting the name recognition as well. It's not only me as the face of the channel.
I love that. That's so good. That's so good. Again, behind the scenes, it helps you create more content. You're involving your team. Now, let's talk about the type of content that you create. So I recently watched, to be super transparent, I watched your homeschooling during the coronavirus video this morning. So we have a couple of young kids as well, elementary level kids. And so right now we're in Vancouver, and so we're still locked down. Schools are closed. So my wife is homeschooling them. So it was good content. But again, I was kind of surprised. I was surprised initially, but then once I started watching this video, it was about homeschooling on a real estate channel. I started to understand why you have it, because it is engaging. It also made me think about looking at the way that you do your interview content. So as perhaps a realtor or local business owner who might be a little bit shy about creating videos all about them and the camera focuses all on them, I think it's a good strategy, a good format for videos as well is interview videos. So tell us a bit about that approach, how you do interview videos, interviews for YouTube. Are you doing those live? Are you recording and then editing them? And how are you thinking of which topics, who to pull into for an interview?
Mm-hmm. Well, normally I don't do a ton of interview videos. In the past, I have interviewed builders and home inspectors and lenders and other people in the community that are in the real estate industry. And they do okay, but they're not the most exciting videos on our channel. They do all right, but they're not like super highly engaging or anything. But then when the coronavirus hit, and I was like, man, this homeschooling thing is hard. How do people do this by choice? Like there are people that really choose to do this every day. Oh my gosh, hats off to you people, because this is hard and you're trying to work and you're dealing with all this just general like mindset stuff of being locked in your house for weeks on end. And I had a real estate friend that homeschools her kids. And I said, could I interview you just to find out like, how are you doing this? And what do you do to make it successful? So that when the kids do go back to school, they haven't just been sitting around playing Xbox for a month and a half. They actually did get some stuff accomplished, and who knows, maybe even make it enjoyable for everybody. And so she said, sure, I would be happy to do that. So we just did it on Zoom, and it was pre-recorded so that I could get her on Zoom, we could do the recording, and then later I could go in and edit it because it was a rather long video. And there's always some downtime or you stumble over your words or whatever. And that way we could cut out any parts that we didn't need. We were able to zoom in and zoom out and do B-roll and all the kind of stuff. So rather than just make it live, it let us do a little bit of editing to try to make the video more engaging.
Awesome. That's a really good approach. Okay, so we're going to get into Q&A, everyone. So go ahead and drop your questions for Karin, anything around using YouTube for specifically if you're a realtor. I mean, if you're a real estate agent or you work with realtors, if you have any specific questions about that, but also just for any general local businesses that you're either working in or working for or helping out, let us know in the comments. We're here for you to do that. Okay, my last question before we jump into Q&A is how, for a local business to get started using YouTube, what would be your advice? What would be your advice for them to jump in? What's the first maybe 2 or 3 things that they should be doing once they decide, okay, we're going to use YouTube to generate more leads, more customers?
The first thing I would do is figure out what is the general strategy of your channel. Who are you trying to speak to? And for us specifically, it was having a specialty of military relocation. If you have a service or a particular, maybe even a brick and mortar store, be thinking of who is it that I am trying to reach with this content, because it doesn't have to be anybody in the entire city that would ever hire you. You can be more specific. And I find that when you are super specific in who you are trying to attract, your marketing message is easier for them to find. It's easier for them to hear. When they do a Google search or a YouTube search, they are finding it at exactly the moment when they needed that answer. And when they watch your video, they're like, oh, where have you been all my life, right? This is what I've been trying to find. And now I found it and you answered my question and you are local. So you can absolutely help me. So think about who you are trying to talk to. Number 2 is do not sell in your videos. And this is really hard for real estate agents to wrap their heads around, but hear me out. People don't go to YouTube because they want to watch your commercial. They don't want to hear you saying, I've been in real estate for 14 years and I've got this designation and that designation and I've sold 15 houses in the last 4.5 hours. And it's all about me, 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 me. And, when I drive down the road and I see the billboards on the side where it's nothing but their giant business card, it's like, what's in it for the person who's looking at this ad? Nothing. It's all about you. That doesn't work on YouTube. You need to make it all about the viewer. What content can you give to them to solve their problem, to answer their question, to make their life easier? It has nothing to do with us, except that you're just going to kind of mention who you are, because at least in Georgia, we have to mention that we're a real estate licensee and who our brokerage is. So you can say, hey, everyone, welcome back. I'm Karin Carr. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams in Savannah, Georgia. And then you move right on to the topic. You don't spend a lot of time talking about yourself. And when you get to the end of the video, you don't say, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell a house, call me. Here's my phone number. Because again, that comes across really, really salesy and they don't like it. So instead, drive them to watch another video, because the more FaceTime you get with that prospect, the more they're going to want to contact you when they are ready to buy or sell a house. That was a very long-winded answer.
No, that's great. That's great. I think that is really important. And I was really thinking about what is it that's different with local businesses. And I think it's also the same with non-local businesses. You know, the rule with, or the game right now with YouTube is watch time and session time, right? Meaning you want to keep your viewer, if you bring them to YouTube, you want to keep them on YouTube for as long as possible. You don't really want to get them to watch one video and then bounce out, right? So I love what you said there with don't be promotional, don't have that really hard close at the end, don't be super promotional in the beginning. And I think that's sort of like really similar with the type of videos I create. And I'm not going after local businesses. I have a quick introduction and then the content, and then I'm out. And then like, hey guys, this next video, you're going to learn how to do X, Y, and Z. And so be really strategic with that. But that's awesome. Karin.
You said Z.
Yeah. I know. I say Z. Sorry. Canadian. Canada. Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you so much, Karin. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to get into some Q&A here. Before we do, let people know where they can connect with you, where they can find you, because after the Q&A, I want them to go check you out. So where can they find you?
If you are a real estate agent, a loan officer, a title officer, escrow officer, anywhere in the real estate industry, my channel is YouTube for Agents. It's youtube.com/Karin Carr with my giant cheesy photo just right there. If you're interested in the book, I'm getting rich off of this baby. The Kindle book is 99 cents. It's called YouTube for Real Estate Agents. You are welcome to go check that out. And just YouTube for Agents is my handle for everything, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, even though I'm not really active on LinkedIn, but it's there.
No, that's awesome. That's great. Tell people about this challenge as well that you've created.
Yeah, so I've been doing a 5-day challenge on Facebook where we learn one thing and then we do it. And then the next day we learn one thing and then we do it. And the idea is that in 5 days, you can kind of overhaul your YouTube channel so that you can set yourself up for success and start getting business as long as you make the content put on the channel, right? And so the last time I did it on Facebook, I just saved all of the recordings and then I uploaded them. So it's available on demand. And that way you don't have to wait another month until I do the next one. And the link, let's see, I wrote the link down. It's YouTubetrainingwebinar.com/challenge. And if you sign up for that, you'll be able to, it's like on day one, you get the video. And then on the second day, you get a different video. And you can go through the whole thing in 5 days, kind of in real time.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So I'm going to post all the links in all the channels, all the comments and everything right after this is done. But please, let's start Q&A. And so drop your questions in if you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm going to dive into this right away, Karin. So everybody on LinkedIn Live, hello. Sorry, I didn't quite say hello there yet. LinkedIn Live is funny. I have to check it on my phone because it doesn't pull into StreamYard, but that's all good. So we got Dr. Argelis Ortiz here. So it's a really good question around local businesses. So Karin, what's your relationship with your local competitors? Are they also a referral source? That's his question right there. So how does that work with local competitors?
I haven't gotten referrals from local people, but I get lots of referrals from other real estate agents that like if they're in Denver and their client is moving to Savannah, they do a Google search, they find my channel. They're like, dang, this girl is everywhere, right? And so I get a lot of referrals from agents that are outside of my area. The response in the area is funny. Like I wrote an offer on a listing one time and she was like, oh my gosh, I follow you on YouTube. That's so funny. And she, we later became friends and it was a lot of fun, but they know who I am when I submit an offer on one of their properties. And it's funny because we all do this. When you get licensed in a new state,
Yeah.
You apply for the license, and it's a matter of public record. So it looks like I've only been licensed for 3 years, right? Because I just got licensed in Georgia. They don't know that I've been licensed since 2005. So I had called her to say, hey, I'm writing an offer on your property. I know you're going to look me up and you're going to think I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing. That's not the case. I'm just new to Georgia. And she said, I already know who you are. I've watched all your YouTube videos. So I thought it was interesting that my competition, I mean, it's kind of a weird industry where you are competing for the business, but then again, you're supposed to work with them on the transaction. So they're not really your competition, but they kind of are. Anyway, I found it interesting that they knew who I was when I'd only been in town for a couple of months, because somehow they had found my YouTube channel and they were watching these videos. But I'll tell you what, I teach this stuff at my own office all the time, and everybody is still so afraid to get on camera. I'm like, I'm telling you, this is how I built my business in Savannah. You should try it. I promise it works.
Exactly. Do what other people aren't doing, right? That's where the opportunities are. But that's good. I think also want to add to that. I think specifically for real estate, I think if you build a local channel like you have, if I'm working in California and I've sold someone's property in California, they want to move to Georgia, then I may look up, right? You probably will look up on Google, like who's in Georgia that I can refer to. Okay, well, looks like Karin is killing it. She's all over, the search results pages on YouTube and Google. Let's call her. Let's see what her program's about and what she's going to do for my client, right? So, so again, referral source, maybe not locally, but from out of state. Awesome. Okay, so we've got a lot of questions here from Facebook. So the first one I'll address really quickly. Somebody's asking, do you have any training videos? Alina, yes, we have TubeBuddy 101, if that's what you're referring to as far as training. And again, just go to tubebuddy.com/101. Happens Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific each week. So I'll drop a link for that as well. Okay, Missy Johnson asking, this is for you, Karin. What program do you use for editing? And if you outsource, which I believe it sounds like you do, you have an editor, do you have a contract? What does that look like?
Okay, so at the beginning, I was doing all of my own editing, and I have a Mac, and iMovie is free when you get a Mac. So I learned how to use iMovie. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know how to split the clip and like remove the mistake. I had to Google everything, and iMovie for beginners was my favorite search phrase for a couple of months. And then I started to get familiar with it, and I wanted to step up my game. So I invested in Final Cut Pro. Oh my gosh, my head wanted to explode. It is not It's not the easy step up from iMovie that they tell you that it is. Anybody who says that is lying. It was hard. It was hard to learn, and it was expensive. And I gave it the best shot for maybe 6 months. And then I said, okay, peace out. I'm done. I'm hiring an editor. I started getting people on Fiverr. And Fiverr was great because it's like $10 a pop, $15 a pop. But then I kept giving out her name, and she got too busy and couldn't help me anymore. So now I don't give out the name of my editor, but I will tell you how I found her. She's like a 20-year-old college kid, and she does a way better job than anything I could do on the best day of my life. I found a website called onlinejobs.ph, which is basically like monster.com and match.com had a baby. And it's for the Philippines. So you go on Online Jobs, you say, I'm looking for an editor. They have all of their resumes. When you want to send them a message, you pay to join their site. I think it was like $69. You send them your messages, you do all of your interviewing. And then when you've hired somebody, you cancel your membership. So you only have to pay for it while you're actively looking for people to talk to. And then I've had her for about a year now. And so she works for me 20 hours a week, edits every video that I do. And I don't even want to tell you how little I pay her, because the exchange rate from the US to the Philippines is phenomenal. And so like outsource that stuff. You don't have to do it yourself. It has to get done, but it doesn't have to get done by you. And if you are saying like, I want to make $100,000 a year, that's the equivalent of paying yourself $50 an hour to edit your video. And could you outsource it for less than $50 an hour? Yes, you certainly can. You can do it for a fraction of that, which then gives you all of your time back so that you could go make another video. And because that's what you all say, I don't have the time. Well, stop editing. That way you do have the time. So if you're not going to spend 5 hours editing your video, just go record 2 or 3 more videos and then let the editor do that for you, get your time back. And then when you go close a big sale, I mean, depending on where you live and what your average price point is, you know, if you're getting a $6,000 commission check, I think you can justify paying somebody $5 an hour to edit your video.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said. I think that's really important to put in perspective of what's your time worth versus someone that can actually edit your videos as well. So that's great. That's great. So Missy, hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Want to say hello to Paul Peck, a good friend of TubeBuddy here. He is also killing in the local business niche as well. He does drywalling and everything. So Paul, thanks for hanging out with us here. Paul says Karin is the boss.
Can I use Paul
thanks,
as
Paul.
a success story? Paul is pretty awesome. Paul has been making videos for a long time, and he does kind of vlog style, and he lives in Florida, and usually he's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops in his videos. And then he started making YouTube videos, and the very first one he did, he was wearing a suit, sitting at his desk, and it has his little plaque with his name on it. I was like, what is that all about? Is that how you show up to a client? And he said, well, no, but I thought I needed to be more professional if I'm going to be making YouTube videos. And I said, no. I want you to be yourself. So he went back to his Aloha shirts. He's now getting tons and tons of clients reaching out to him saying, we want to buy a house in Florida. We found all your videos. You're awesome. His thing right now is that he's doing bicycle tours since we're in quarantine. So he's got his gimbal with his phone, and he's like pedaling around neighborhoods. So and he's getting tons and tons of views on these videos. It's really exciting. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I got to check out Paul's channel. That's great. Yeah. So be professional, but be yourself. I think that's what I'm getting there. That's great. Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to rifle through some questions here. Julie says, would love to know what screen recording software you're using where you can add a scroll bar and branding like that. Really quickly, Julie, I'm using StreamYard right now. I think there's other tools out there that you can use as well. But this particular session, and usually for the Creators Corner, I use StreamYard. So go check them out, StreamYard.com. Okay. Jessica has a question for you, Karin. What are the best videos to post to your channel when first starting on YouTube for real estate? It's a very good question.
You want to know who your target audience is. Are you trying to work with seniors who are downsizing? Are you trying to work with first-time millennial buyers? Do you want to work with people that want to buy like an urban loft in the hip area of downtown? They're single professionals. They don't want to mow yards. They just want to live somewhere where they can get to work easy. Like, you have to know who your audience is and then figure out what do they want to know about. So going back to my own story, it was people that are PCSing to Hunter Army Airfield. So I did lots of videos about coming to the area, neighborhood tours, where could you live that would give you a 30-minute commute to the base. How do you buy a house with a VA loan? How much money do you need down? Because I knew who I was talking to and therefore what questions they have. But you have to know who your audience is and what questions do they want to know. And then I still love keyword research, just figuring out like what are they typing into the search bar so that I know how much demand there is for that specific topic. I was doing some keyword research earlier with somebody that is military in the panhandle of Florida. She's by Eglin Air Force Base. So we were trying to figure out what are they searching for when they're looking for housing if they're going to be at Eglin. And then when we found the one that's like, ding, 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 that's the winner. It's got a lot of search volume, but very little competition. I want you to go make a video on that topic.
Right. Got it. So keyword research, but also, yes, in the beginning, introduce yourself and who you are. Paul, you're getting a lot of love in the comments here. You got sort of your own fans here coming out. That's awesome. It's really good to see. Okay. Got more questions here. I thought I saw one here. Okay. Ronnie. So Ronnie's asking, Karin, do you ever use Facebook ads to get more viewers to your YouTube videos, or is that unnecessary? Good question, Ronnie. Thanks for asking.
It's a very good question. And people are always surprised when I say this. I do not drive traffic to YouTube from Facebook because, again, if I'm on Facebook and I'm interested in hanging with my friends, or I'm doing a Google search because I'm trying to find the answer to a question, those are two very different intents. And I would prefer to just use the algorithm to show up in the search results when they're actively looking for that information, rather than try to artificially get more views on the video from somebody that really didn't have any intent. Maybe they're like, oh, I live in Savannah, I'm going to click on that and go watch that video, but they're not thinking of buying or selling. So they're not, maybe they were interested, but if they start to watch the video and after 10 seconds, they hit the back button, now you're actually giving signals to YouTube that my content stinks. And that's not what I want to have happen. So I really don't do a lot of paid ads, period. And definitely not driving them to YouTube from other platforms.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I think it's important to understand that as well. We do, like a TubeBuddy and myself even, we do use other social platforms to push people to YouTube, but we don't do paid ads. What we typically will do is repurpose a video, like a piece of the video. So let's say, hey guys, here's 5 tips on how to use live streaming to grow your audience. We'll take one of those tips and then cut it as a micro content and post it on LinkedIn, for example, and then tell them, if you enjoyed this tip, watch the entire video over on YouTube. So it's all driving to YouTube in that sense. But yeah, no paid ads. That's really important to address there. Okay, so do you use, I guess I'm just trying to paraphrase the question here, Karin, but are you using live videos, and how do you do, how would you approach live videos as a local business?
I haven't really done any lives for the Georgia Coast Homes channel, but I'm doing it a lot now for my YouTube for Agents channel, because it's like we have a captive audience right now. I mean, I don't mean to make light of the situation, but people are online 24 hours a day, it seems like. And so they are looking for information. They are looking for content. By all means, let's give it to them. And so on my agents channel, I'm going live once a week. I'm doing a pre-recorded video once a week and then a live once a week. And I love the lives. I've never been a live streamer before until recently. And when the quarantine started, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. What's the worst that can happen is I don't get any views. And oh my gosh, it's amazing to me how many people show up live, how many stick around, how many engage. And then 2 days later, you look at your analytics, you're like, I've had 850 views. It's only been 48 hours. I never get that many views, but people are really responding to the live. So if I were to start doing live for the Georgia Coast Homes videos, it's like, okay, that's a whole different strategy. What would I talk about to make people want to show up live? I haven't started doing it yet on that channel.
Right. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So very engaged audience right now. So yeah, definitely start using live and testing it anyway. Yeah. And I think to add to that is that every channel, every audience is a little bit different. We find lives are great as well. It was great before the pandemic, I suppose, and it's also really even better now. So we'll continue to do them. But again, some channels, they don't do so well. Some channels, they do better. So test it out for yourself. You can always unlist it as well. So you can always hide it. If it didn't turn out well, you can always hide it or take it down. So there you go. Got a really specific question here for you, Karin, from Robert. Really good question. I have a secondary home market. How do I target buyers from out of state? Or Canada, or it's like either out of state or Canada. So,
well, and I kind of do too, because Savannah has a beach community and a lot of people want to buy either a property to run as an Airbnb so that it's making money for them and then they have a place to stay when they want to come here on vacation, or they're buying a second home, as well as people that are relocating here permanently. So for me, it was like, do you know where they're coming from? Are people searching from a specific location? And what are they searching? Like, I don't know offhand what market you're in, but let's say that it was San Diego. And you said, are people saying like, how much does a house at the beach in San Diego cost? Or what is the average like loan size there? Or, how much is flood insurance? And how much are property taxes if it's waterfront property? Like, you're trying to put yourself into their shoes and think, what did they want to know if they're thinking about buying a vacation home here? Or what about just buying a vacation home in San Diego, or second homes in San Diego? Or how much does it cost to maintain a second property when you're not there? Like, do you still have the power on and the water on and the garbage service? Like, are you still paying for all of that stuff, even though you're not there? Do you have a maid service coming in once or twice a month to dust and open the windows? And how much does that all cost? I mean, those are questions that I would have if I'm thinking about buying a vacation home out of state. And I know that that's what I'd be Googling. So I would make videos that answer all of those questions.
Yeah. No, that's really important. Like, how far is it from downtown to the city, or, for, the city, so yeah, I mean, I think it's
from the airport. Like, if I fly in, do I have to rent a car, or can I just take an Uber and I'm there in 10 minutes?
That's right. Yeah. What are the schools like? You hear the top 10 schools and stuff like that. So yeah, no, that's really important. I think it's like, what I'm really loving from your channels is that you're thinking outside beyond just the real estate. Like, what are the closing costs, and things like that you kind of see, which is important, like I said. But I love that you are going deeper and you're meeting people kind of where they are before they start thinking of, like, it reminds me of a course creator, because you've created courses, where he was seeing that all the content that everybody was sharing was sort of like this beginner level. And so all the other course creators for this piano course, that's the niche he's in, they were kind of meeting people at this like level. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to meet people even before they get to the beginner, like what's before beginner. And so I think that's really important. And then meet them there, then get them up to your sort of like all the other content that you're sharing. So this is awesome. Saw Heather Nichols is here. I got Lisa here, says your 5-day challenge is awesome. This has been really good. I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions. Gardens of Blessings, good to see you here as well. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions, but I think you covered it all, Karin.
Can we talk about analytics real fast?
Yeah, of course.
This kind of goes back to that question too. If you start making content for your channel and then you go look at your analytics, you will see which videos are the top performers on your channels. I'm always amazed at how many people never look at their analytics, but that's how I discovered what was working on my channel. So when I saw that moving to Savannah video took off over everything else, I thought I should make another video on a similar topic. What could I call it? So how about living in Savannah, 5 things I love and 5 things I hate. That's now the top performer on my channel. It's had almost 30,000 organic views. For a local real estate channel, that's unheard of. Like 29,000 views on a video about what it's like living in Savannah. It's amazing. It's awesome. And so then I made a cost of living in video of how much does it cost to live here? Like what is housing cost? How does it compare to Florida, or how does it compare to Charleston, or how does it compare to up north? I mean, people move here from New Jersey and New York because they can sell their house and literally buy a house here with the proceeds from the sale of that house because it's so much less expensive. And then they have no mortgage payment. They live here, they live by the beach, they get to do all this fun stuff, and they have no mortgage payment because they paid cash for their house. So if you look at your analytics, the people are going to tell you what videos they like and what they want to see more of. So be smart. Don't just go out and make videos about whatever you feel like talking about. Make videos based on what people are already telling you are working on your channel.
So good. Great advice. Panic Pixel says analytics are always important when optimizing content. So true. Heather Nichols says that's awesome. There's a question here, but I can't tell who it is. It says Facebook user, but it says, hey guys, how long did it take for your editor to figure out your style?
Not very long, because I already had a ton of videos on my channel. So when I hired her, I said, this is the look I'm going for. And I sent her, the link to my channel and said, like, look at these 3 or 4 videos. This is kind of the format that I have. And I have a very structured format. It's the same outline every time. This is the intro. This is the logo. These are the colors. These are the fonts. And the first month or 2, there was a lot of back and forth where she would edit it and I would have to make revisions. Now I hardly ever make revisions. Literally, she sends me the first draft and it's like, awesome, ready to go. Occasionally I say, I didn't like this, or could you, move this part here? But she kind of gets it now. And because she's been working for me for a year, she knows what my style is and she knows what, so I would say spend the time up front. And people are like, I'm so busy, I don't even have time to train somebody. Well, you know what? You're never going to get less busy. And if you don't make the time to train somebody, then this will be your life forever and ever. So you seriously have to just make the time to train them so that they will take this off your plate, and then you'll have some time to breathe. Like it's kind of like having a baby. There's never a good time to have a baby. You're never going to be ready. And you're always going to say like, it's not a good time. Just suck it up and make it the time.
That's right. That's right. And once you've had that baby, you're like, what was life like without the baby? You know? Yeah, exactly. No, that's good. And also what I caught there, Karin, is that you already figured out your template for your videos. Yes. Before you hired the editor. So again, if you're just doing this on your own, that's one thing. That's like, even for myself, you know, I'm trying to figure out what is my template. I think I've figured it out now, but it took me a while, right? What's your intro? What's the meat of your content? What's your hook at the end? What's your call to action? And template as much of that as you can, of the format. And that way you can be more consistent. You can produce more content on a regular, consistent basis. And then when the time comes to outsource it, then you're like, here's my template, you know, just color by numbers, basically, right?
Precisely.
So yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so Heather has a question. I think this is a real estate question. Where do you move by the beach with no mortgage? So,
Savannah.
Savannah, there you go.
No, I'm serious. Like it's the cost of living in Savannah as a whole, like our median sales price is like $240. It's not an expensive place to live. So compared to Fort Lauderdale or Miami or San Diego or other places, it's relatively inexpensive to live here. And yeah, I've had a ton of clients that are like, I sold my house in New Jersey for $750,000. And like, I was able to buy a house here, probably not at the beach, but I was able to buy a house in Savannah and pay cash.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunities right now for sure. Okay, so I think we've covered as much of the questions as I can see here. Okay, yeah. So Natalia took your course. Awesome. So happy she found you. Thanks, Natalia. Okay, awesome. And then Panic Pixel here has a follow-up. So the initial investment in training pays off later because it gives you more time to do other stuff. Absolutely. And it goes back to what you said, Karin. I really like what you said there. And you know, if your time is worth $50 an hour, then outsource the things that aren't worth your time. So that's really important. I think that's a huge message for a lot of local businesses, which I think a lot of local businesses, just by nature and just by the way they're set up, is that you're kind of accustomed to wearing so many hats, right? And it's really hard to let go because you're really passionate about editing, or, you know, just you want to control the brand and all that stuff. And I think you do have to take out that leap of faith and hire someone, you know, so that you can do other things that are more important, whether that's, you know, doing more calls, so more sales calls, or meeting clients, or other things. But yeah, no, that's really important. Okay, let's do one.
Control freaks by nature in real estate. Like we feel like we need to do it all ourselves because nobody can do it as well as we can. But you know what? It really is a myth. It really is a self-limiting belief. And if you can delegate so that these things that are really administrative duties that could get done by somebody for pennies on the dollar, like you need to be the CEO of your business and do the things that are revenue generating for your business. And editing is not revenue generating.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But something that you can definitely outsource. So with that, Karin, I want to thank you for taking time. I know you're busy. You've got so many things going on, but you made time for this. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for sharing your message and just some, you know, really helpful tips, advice. So where can people find you again? Where can they connect with you and continue this conversation if they have other questions for you?
Yep. YouTubeforagents.com. If you are just interested in, you know, how to make videos and the kind of formats that I'm doing and what's worked for me. And if you are thinking of moving to Savannah and you want to buy a house, my Georgia Coast Homes channel, we'd be delighted to assist you.
Awesome. Karin, thank you so much. Everybody that tuned in live, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're watching this on the replay, don't be shy. Leave a comment, leave your questions. We'll make sure we get them over to Karin and her team. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're going to have Matt Harper talk about his channel. And his channel is another one that's, I don't know if it's local, but he's all about darts. So Atomic Darts is his channel. Yeah. So yeah, he was with you on
that's right, on the quarantine.
Yeah. So it's gonna be really fun conversation. And so we'll see you guys then. If you have any questions, drop that into the comments. And if you're watching this on Monday, catch us on Tuesday tomorrow at TubeBuddy 101. So TubeBuddy.com/101, and we'll dive into all the tools and get you started with TubeBuddy. All right. So Karin, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks again. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Take care.